Obviously, the funds are going to be taken from some areas, put into this new use for the wall. Some of that money coming from the military, which traditionally Republicans would pretend that they are big fans of. Let's see if that bears out.
How can you guarantee to military families and to our men and women of the military that none of the money that would be reprogrammed to a wall will take away from other technology, other renovations, construction that is desperately needed in our military?
So, John, we had certain funds that are being used at the discretion of generals, at the discretion of the military. Some of them haven't been allocated yet, and some of the generals think that this is more important. I was speaking to a couple of them. They think this is far more important than what they were going to use it for. I said, what were you going to use it for? And I won't go into details, but didn't sound too important to me.
Okay, so yes, based on my experience watching generals and how jealously they guard the money they've been given, often they'll say, your use is better. Yeah, go make your wall.
That's what the Pentagon is known for. Like, nah, we don't really need the money. Why don't you guys keep it instead? And I know generals are always coming in to areas that they have no expertise in. Now remember, there are military, they act abroad, right? And so they cannot act within the country in a police force, in a police role, I should say, right? So that's the law of the United States. So it would be incredibly unusual for a general to walk into the Oval Office and be like, hey, I got a great idea on how to use the wall to protect people inside the country, et cetera. And we didn't really need the $3.6 billion. And I was thinking, where should I put it? And I was thinking of doing this giant Valentine's Day shindig at the Pentagon. And I thought, no, I got an idea. Let's use it as a, come on, no, everybody knows that conversation didn't happen, right? Everybody knows that he's like, I'm just gonna take that from the military, and who cares? I already gave them a lot of money, and it's all politics anyway. They don't really need that, it's just defense contractors, I'll just take it.
But doesn't it give literal meaning to the Department of Defense? That was a bad pun, sorry. Okay,
oh yeah.
There we go, we can fix that in editing. This isn't live, is it?
It took a minute for me to get it, but it reminded me of those football games where they have defense.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'd buy those signs, but they can't afford it anymore. Right. Look, either that money was just laying around and they weren't going to use it for anything, or they were, in which case, then the question that was put to him was, how can you guarantee that this won't harm either the service members or their families? Well, that's billions of dollars that hypothetically was going to be used for literally military construction. I don't think that many of the people, remember, regular members of the service are not particularly well paid. Their families are not rolling in money. The idea that money that hypothetically could have gone to places on bases where they would live, things like that, is instead going to be rusting at the southern border. I don't think that's going to reassure many family members of the military.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot because they always hide behind the troops. And they say, oh, you got to support the troops. No, the troops actually, they're for most of them, entrance level or entry level salary is a little over $19,000. They're not getting the money. The defense contractors are getting the money. So if you really want to help the troops, take the $3.6 billion that was apparently lying around that you weren't doing anything with, and give it all in salary increases to the troops. Do you have any idea how popular that would be? A, among the troops, and B, among the rest of the country. And do you know how much more popular that it would be than the stupid wall that only about a third of the country wants? So there's 1,000 better uses. But I mean, to John's point earlier in the show, the core of the argument is, hey, we really need this wall because it's really dangerous, and so it's about national security, and that's why it's a national emergency. Trump is saying, and one of the things he's doing is taking away from the military, which presumably would make us less secure. And the other thing is from $2.5 billion from the Department of Defense's counter-drug activities. But you told me that you're so worried about all the drugs that are coming across the border, and that's part of why you're doing this. So are you worried about security? Are you worried about drugs? Or are you only worried about your own political career?
And let's go one step further. If you're going to address an actual crisis with military funding, you'll recall that the very first week of the Trump administration, the military came into his office and said, here are the top 10 genuine national security crises facing the US. Number one on that list, climate change, right? So use it for the actual crisis if you're gonna use it. Not even on the top 10, immigration or walls related stuff. So just farce on top of farce on top of farce.
So, but the generals came in and told me I need it for the wall. No, they told you the exact opposite, literally. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.